Oh, is that my cue? Hi, it's Tom Selleck. You might know me as Magnum P.I. or the baby movie with the three men. How about a reverse mortgage for you and your family? Ask TC or the Butler guy for Magnum PI. They love their reverse mortgage. You will too. Tom Selleck must have a half dozen homes, huh? Probably one in Hawaii, I would bet, from his time spent doing Magnum PI. That would be my wager, my assumption. I doubt he's doing any reverse mortgages on any of his homes. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday. It's a lot of endorsement voices to start the program, including me, Tom Selleck, reverse mortgages. I'm in the Lowe's the other day, and over the loudspeaker in the big box Lowe's store is Drew Brees, your Lowe's associate. Drew Brees must endorse, seriously. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It must be when you get to small products to large products, especially if you threw in like local San Diego, La Jolla type stuff as well. You know, from the little things to the big things, Drew Brees, I would venture to say, endorses north of 50 products. North of 50. He has an interest in quite a few, from walk-ons to Jimmy John's to Untuck It, where he has a financial stake in the business. He's a partner, owns a percentage, some connection. And then they're just a bunch like Lowe's where he has no stake, but he gets paid a nice chunk of change. Some of those deals are multi-million-dollar annual deals, multi-million-dollar annual deals. Sweet. And then the aforementioned businesses that he's partners with. I mean, I'm sure with Jimmy John's, Drew Brees pulls in a few $1,000,000 annually. Walk-ons, Drew Brees pulls in a few $1,000,000 annually. Maybe tens of millions with walk-ons. They've got a bunch of those now. All they do is keep building new ones and expanding. Untuck It shirts. The money is a-rolling. That's how you can afford to live in La Jolla. Yeah, you right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson back at you. Another warm one. We have not hit 90, but we're in the 80s, low 80s today. And with the humidity where it is, it feels like the high 80s. Better than the last 2 days where it felt like low 90s. But still, on that thermometer, we have not hit 90 degrees yet in Metro New Orleans for 2023. Yeah, you right. That thermometer we're using at the Humane May fundraiser, our latest donation total, about $3,500 or 35% or about 1/3 of the way home. The problem is it's the 17th of May. We're already closing in on 60% of the month in the books, yet we're only about 35% of the way to our goal. We're 6,500 short. We're about 1/3 of the way home. We've got 2/3 to go and only less than 2 weeks to do it. We're trying to raise money, $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. We're trying to save cats and dogs and kittens and puppies and horses and goats, animals that aren't being treated humanely, that are being abused for no reason. Just because it's Louisiana and we don't have our priorities right. Jeff Dorson, the Humane Society of Louisiana, they're trying to change that. 100% of your proceeds go to the Humane Society of Louisiana. Please go to their website right now. Use an ATM card, a debit card, and donate. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Hey, tomorrow on the program, Oliver Thomas will join us to discuss, I don't think a potential conflict of interest, I think a definitive conflict of interest, where Oliver Thomas is asking the mayor as a council person, asking the city of New Orleans to come up with 10 to 15 million more dollars for the Bayou Phoenix Six Flags site redevelopment for Troy Henry, where the city and Troy Henry have already come to an agreement. The city is obligated to not do anything more than what the contract calls for, which is $1 million of cleanup remediation to the Six Flags site. Oliver Thomas is calling for 10 to 15 million from the city. The problem, besides Troy Henry being Oliver Thomas's cousin, reportedly, the bigger conflict is obviously Oliver Thomas works for Troy Henry. Oliver Thomas works for a WBOK radio station. Troy Henry is a part owner. Essentially, Troy Henry is writing a check to Oliver Thomas every 2 weeks. And when Troy Henry is writing a check to Oliver Thomas every 2 weeks already, Oliver Thomas should stay out of any business that concerns Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix and the Six Flags site. We'll visit with Oliver Thomas tomorrow. He doesn't think there is a conflict. He says the money is for the site, not the developer. Same thing. We'll talk about this. This is the blueprint of conflict. Ghassan Korban from the Sewerage and Water Board will also join us on the program tomorrow. The BGR, the Bureau of Governmental Research, a local watchdog nonprofit, says the Sewage and Water Board needs restructuring. Ghassan Korban is a reasonable person. Smart, gets it, wants the Sewage and Water Board to be efficient and work right, seems to be very civic-minded. I think a person you can talk to. It'll be interesting to see what he says about the BGR's recommendation about restructuring. I would venture to say if he doesn't, believe in all of it, I bet he is for a lot of it. We'll find out tomorrow. Next week, Joe Giarrusso, New Orleans City Councilman, will join us. West End Park. Finally, some talk about redeveloping West End Park. And in typical New Orleans fashion, you have folks in and around West End Park that are already complaining about any redevelopment. Not, hey, I'm a neighbor, I'm anxious to get involved in some type of public forum about what could go here. Not that, just against the development. Similar mentality to the folks on Esplanade right off Rampart in the Quarter, with the no Habana outpost signs. What a godsend that Habana outpost is. Have you driven by that once blighted corner for about 40 years? Rampart at Esplanade, the old gas station site, now a restaurant, Habana outpost. Thursday through Sunday, they're closed 3 days out of the week. I mean, the neighbors should be ecstatic. No Habana outpost. I love Sean Meenan, who's going to join us on the program as well in the near future. We've had him booked a couple of times and just had some conflicts where we've missed him. He has a no Habana outpost sign in the window of his restaurant right now. I love it. Kind of just, flipping off the neighbors after a decade-plus long fight to open the restaurant. I'm not making this up. 10-plus years. Because of some New Orleanians that have the wherewithal, money, family money, maybe someone's an attorney, can just bog down the developer to where they finally throw their hands up and leave. This guy's a Golden Gloves champ, multi-millionaire. He was ready for the long-term fight. 10-plus years, those New Orleans hacks, pretending to be concerned citizens, fought this Habana outpost. Now, I'm not ready to, christen or declare the West End folks that same mentality, but West End Park has been dormant for nearly 20 years. 20 years, like almost a generation. Enough already. Let's go. It's like Pontchartrain Beach and Lincoln Beach. Hey, we're winding down crawfish season. Don't miss it. Live by the Sack Crawfish, Rouse's Market, hot from the pot, ready to eat crawfish. Your local Rouse's Markets. It's crawfish season. Best quality, best price, best selection. Live by the Sack. Hot from the pot, ready to eat. Rouse's Markets during crawfish season. Hurry up. Coming to an end soon.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hey, the 4 o'clock hour on this wide open Wednesday brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you at Katie's in Mid-City right now? The perfect wind down your day New Orleans neighborhood spot. It is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a true taste of New Orleans. Old school New Orleans specialties, big portions, great for sharing. Katie's in Mid-City. And don't forget about Scott Craig's other place, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview on Harrison in between Canal Boulevard and West End. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Wide open Wednesday. That means you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Mayor LaToya Cantrell apologizing today to those families of the two slain girls, the two 20-year-olds, the Southern University student, the recent graduate of Delgado's nursing school, and a mother, shot down outside that club on Claiborne. The mayor kind of assumed and insinuated that these two were probably hooked up in the local drug trade because a lot of women are involved in that, and apologized today. And I believe the mayor. I think it was a sincere apology. I think that's, was necessary, and I think she meant it. And, I accept that from the mayor. I don't know how the families of the two slain girls feel about it, but I think at least the mayor stepped up and realized she made a mistake and apologized for it, which is refreshing, especially coming from this mayor. There's going to be a ban, it looks like in Louisiana, on any kids getting some type of surgery, children getting transgender surgery. Even the less extreme stuff that's still fairly extreme, arguably, like hormone treatments and the like, will all be banned for kids, for anyone under the age 17 and under in Louisiana. Now, this is pretty simple. This part, the first part I'm about to say, is easy. Anyone in that, LGBTQ community, trans, gay, bi, need to be acknowledged, need to be recognized. I don't know why anyone would not. They don't need to be marginalized. They don't need to be not treated equally. They don't need to be, I'm uncomfortable with it. I want to ignore them. I want them to go away. We'll legislate them, till they disappear. Those folks are just like any folks, need to be treated like all folks in America, all part of this country, recognized, respected, acknowledged. But I will say this, and in Louisiana, it's tough to differentiate from just the anti-trans mentality. I mean, you've got an extreme right-wing state where homosexuality may not be grasped by the majority of the extreme right in this state. They may not acknowledge it, may not accept it, especially the evangelical right in this state, especially the evangelical in this state, the wacky evangelical right. There's no doubt. The trans thing takes it to an entirely different level. So we've got to be careful in our state when we do things, because it can easily be labeled, even if it's a decent idea, it can be labeled something divisive and something harmful because of the messenger, where it's coming from. So our rep on this isn't good. With that said, I don't know if I'm against the law or not, because I don't think that there is such a rush in today's society. It's like a microwave society. We want things to heat up quick. You have an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old thinks they're the opposite sex. I know genetically I'm born female. I think I'm a boy. I know I'm genetically born male. I think I'm a girl. I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, but there's a pretty good chance that you're bisexual or gay and too young to be worrying about sexual orientation or sexual feelings anyway. You're 6, you're 8, you're 10 years old. Haven't even gone through puberty yet. So you are literally growing as a human being, biological things going on inside your body that we fully understand, biological things going into your body that we partially understand, and biological things going on in your body that we do not understand in the least bit. And it's sort of a little perverse, and not in a sexual way, just going in and changing the kind of metaphysical, biological characteristics of a child with hormones or whatever injections or drugs to enhance, decrease, whatever you're trying to achieve with a child who is growing. There are too many homosexuals, gay, lesbian folks in America, in the world, that today, as adults, say, my God, I happen to be one of those confused kids. Some gay folks, it's an easy transition. Some, it's very difficult. Some, there's total confusion for years. And they would say, man, when I was 6, 8, 10, 12, who knows what I would have decided? Because I'm thinking like a 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old and very confused while biologically growing. So I don't think I would say I am for hormone treatment or surgeries or anything like that to sort of assist in the transitioning, the physical transitioning, not mental. And mental, I guess, would come into play with the help of the physical. I would not want to be a part of assisting in any child getting that done. I think a lot of gay and lesbian adults would say, I would have done that possibly as a 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old. And then I would have removed some parts of my body that as an adult, I would have regretted today having them removed because they're part of who I am today. And this is who I am today. And as an adult, I'm very happy with who I am today. And I'm glad I didn't make a decision as a 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old. We don't let 6, 8, 10, 12-year-olds decide haircut, piercings, tattoos, things of that nature that are cosmetic, that are fixable, that are changeable. We don't allow kids to make those decisions. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's simple. I'm not saying you should be able to grasp it and understand it and move forward with perfect clarity. It's 2023. Life moves at a lightning fast speed. Life, technology, social things like transgender. Now, I believe, and I think most folks that think about it, look into it, try to understand it, not run from it, aren't scared of it. This has been going on throughout the history of mankind. Homosexuality, heterosexuality, bisexuality, transgender, all of it. Since day one. There wasn't a, hey, this Thursday, 4 p.m., we start this transgender thing when the bell rings. So no, I'm into letting people pretty much do what they want to do, who they want to be. But I don't think we should be letting 6, 8, 10, 12-year-olds have surgery or hormone treatment and the like, especially when there are too many examples of adults that say, I might have done that surgery as a 6, 8, 10, 12-year-old, and my God, I'd have regrets the rest of my life about it. This isn't some cut and dried, black and white issue that is definitive. There's no gray area. There's a lot of gray area with this. We'll visit with Joe Marino. He had some comments on Louisiana's law, plus his pay raise legislation did not go through for pay raise legislation for legislators did not go through. It's an election year. Hey, it's getting warm out there. If your AC's not working right, that's a bummer. If it's making some funny noise, that's not good. If it's not working at all, that is beyond unacceptable. River City's Total Maintenance will take care of you. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Honest air conditioning experts. They're not guessing on the diagnosis. They're figuring it out right away. They've been doing this for decades and decades. They know what they're doing. And they come immediately because it's hot outside. Your AC's not working right, or worse, not working at all. You're inconvenienced. You're stressed out. Lucas gets it. That's why they come right away. Get your AC working this afternoon, tonight. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's River City's Total Maintenance. Find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. NOLAAC.com if you need air conditioning help. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench of more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
That's right, Jason. Why don't you call him? Caught me with my mic open, huh? Better than that news anchor. You saw the guy. Where was he? Chicago, maybe? A larger market than here. I want to say Chicago, Minneapolis. Some dude with his co-anchor. Hot mic was on, and he called her a dirty word. You saw that? Saw what he called her? Not very friendly. Anyway, yeah, out of a job right away, exactly. They Ron Burgundy him. Stay classy, San Diego. And then the other one, he said, it was similar. I think the harshness of the word on television similar. Anyway, that guy, I don't know if he made it into outside the weather shift if he was back there. I don't know if he made it out of that program, out of that newscast. It might have been the girl solo up there anchoring at the end. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us. Our Humane May fundraiser going on right now. More than half the month in the books already. And we've raised a little over $3,000 of our $10,000 goal. So we're like a third of the way home, 2/3 of the way left, and just a few weeks to get it done. Please donate right now, humanela.org. Humanela.org is the website. Humanela.org. You'll see a photo of me like under a blanket with Blue Boy laying on a sofa. Click on that photo, and then you can use a debit or credit card and donate. $5, $10, $50, $100. Please go to the website, humanela.org, and donate generously. Yesterday, I scooped up a to-go order from Lebanon's Cafe. They're open right now. They open every weekday. I should say Wednesday through Monday. They're closed on Tuesdays. Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. till 9:30, Lebanon's Cafe on Carrollton by the streetcar barn. So good. Yeah, Monday I picked up some chicken shawarma, little tabbouleh, a fried football kibbe, some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. The mayor apologizes to the two families of the two slain girls for the comments that insinuated that there's a lot of women in the drug trade and these two got caught up in the drug trade. That appears to not be the case. The families were very upset with the mayor's comments and insinuation, and the mayor stepped up. I give LaToya Cantrell credit. Stepping up, realizing she made a mistake and apologizing for it publicly. That's how you handle things. That would be nice if she took responsibility and handled all things like this. There was a consistency. West End Park finally back in the news again. West End Park is sort of a precarious park. A lot of folks think the 17th Street Canal is the border between Orleans and Jefferson. Essentially, it is. But as you get towards the lake, that, I guess, either the canal bends in a westerly direction, or the line, the parish line, bends in an easterly direction. Whatever the reason is, when you kind of get towards the end of the canal and you're entering the lake, the parish line kind of runs sort of through the middle of that parking lot at West End Park. Like in the olden days, because now it's almost 20 years, Fitzgerald's, Brunnings, all those businesses sat in Jefferson Parish. You may have parked your car in Orleans Parish, but as you traversed the parking lot, as you approached Fitzgerald's or Brunnings, you crossed the parish line from Orleans into Jefferson, even though you're on the Orleans Parish side of the 17th Street Canal. So this is just a nightmare. It's a Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish dual development. Like they both have to be in agreement. They both have to work on this together. Now, there is sort of a mini catch-22 to all of this, I guess, a little caveat. The Army Corps doesn't want, Fitzgerald's or Brunnings to be built out on stilts out on the lake itself. The Brunnings house that was out on the point across the canal on the Jefferson Parish side of the 17th Street Canal, that house on the point can't be rebuilt. I don't know if it's because they're at the mouth of the pumping station. They just don't want these vulnerable camps being rebuilt. I have no idea what the deal is, but building over the water might be prohibited, which would be a major blunder or mistake. I think they need to build over the water so that first floor, you coming out of the parking lot, you're taking like half a set of steps down to a dock area where a boat could be held. And then you take a half a flight of steps up to the first floor of businesses, maybe where the new Fitzgerald's or Brunnings might be. You go up a floor from that, and maybe it's law offices, a barber shop, insurance agency. And then the floors up from that might be apartments and condo towers, something like that. Bigger, better than before. But then you kick in New Orleans and kind of that not in my neighborhood mentality, the selfish. I like the blight. I like no one around. I like being in this deserted area. I hear you. I owned that building for a while. I lived in it. A lot of folks called it the Houdat Shack on Rampart. It was my house. It sat in the middle of a parking lot by itself. In front of me was an entire city block surface parking lot. I loved being by myself. Now, it would be in the middle of the South Market District. I'd go from 10 neighbors to 1,000. So I get it. But who am I to stop development when I bought a place surrounded by parking lots, surface parking lots? There's either going to be parking there indefinitely or someone's going to eventually build there. I'm not going to sue to stop it or fight it. Use my powers like those Langsfeld Lofts, the two attorneys that thought they were crafty that have stopped at least 3 different buildings from being built next door to their property because it would wreck their view. You bought a condo with a big window overlooking a lot next to you in an industrial area that also has some zoning for, residential, and you're going to be opposed to anything built there? No, just selfish, anti-New Orleans. But because they have a law degree and they're crafty, they could bog it down, ended up flipping their condos for much more than market value, and they think they're crafty and smart. No, they're selfish is all they are, and screwed over the city. Millions in tax revenue, new residences, new neighbors in downtown solidifying that area. No, it's a shame. But that selfish mentality blocking the Havana outpost. I'm worried about West End right now because it has been dormant for 18 years. These people, it's a generation. You're some adult that's 40 when you came back after Katrina. You're almost 60 now. You want some major West End development, restaurants, bars, reemergence of Coconut Beach or whatever might happen out there. And then Corey's talking about businesses on top of those bars and restaurants, and then condos and apartments and a lot more cars and traffic and people living there all of a sudden. No, a lot of folks are going to be opposed to that. They're used to the last 18 years. But is it selfish and about them, or is it what's best for the city? Needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. Too often in New Orleans, I'm worried about West End Park redevelopment, how long that could be bogged down. It's almost been 20 years that it's been dormant. Pontchartrain Beach, over 40. Lincoln Beach, over 60. It's insane. Insane. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Hey, Trey Yen's with you on the North Shore. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. They open their doors for dinner in about 10 minutes. You want to experience the best Chinese cuisine in America? Might be the best in America. It's right here in Metro New Orleans. Trey Yen in Mandeville for over 45 years. Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. You're the show producer, 766-9480, 766-9480. I think we've got one more major shopping mall in the last 50 years, a major shopping mall that was built and totally torn down, or built and half of it torn down. But of these four, none of them exist anymore. We got an answer for the Plaza in the east. We got an answer for Belle Promenade on the West Bank. We got an answer for Uptown Square in Uptown. There's one more mall like that. This one, unlike the Plaza or Belle Promenade, totally razed, totally demolished, more like Uptown Square, partially demolished and reused, repurposed. This mall, like Uptown Square and the Plaza, also in Orleans Parish, former mall. Couple of major anchors at that mall. Now it's something totally different. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Our Humane May fundraiser is going on right now. In the month of May, we're trying to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate right now at humanela.org.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide Open Wednesday. You're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Tomorrow, Oliver Thomas, New Orleans City Councilman, will join us on the program. Going to talk about the latest and greatest, what's going on with the council, but also this, to me, an obvious conflict of interest. Oliver Thomas, Troy Henry, his boss, Oliver Thomas, does a morning talk radio program on a radio station Troy Henry owns. That means Oliver Thomas can't be going to bat as a city councilman for Troy Henry. Just off limits. It'd be like if I were a city council person, or Jason, the Raging Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, were a city council person, and I needed some help, and Jason was producing my show. Jason would probably recuse himself or say, Corey, here's Helena Moreno's number. Call her. She's going to assist you on this. I can't assist you on this because, you work for me or I work for you or whatever. We have cash being, transactions going down with cash. I'm an elected official. No, Oliver Thomas should know better. He should have one of the council people at large assist Troy Henry in this $10 to $15 million from the city if that's what the council wants to do. The big question mark right off the bat is the city and Bayou Phoenix have agreed to terms. It's done. Why the additional 10 or 15 million? The deal's done. Troy Henry's obligated to follow through. The city's obligated to do what they have to do. And this extra 10 to 15 million is not part of it. So that's a big question mark right off the bat. But then reportedly, Troy Henry, Oliver Thomas are cousins. And not reportedly, we know it for a fact that Troy Henry pays Oliver Thomas a paycheck every 2 weeks for doing a morning talk show on his radio station. So there is a obvious conflict of interest. Oliver Thomas says, hey, it's money towards the development, not the developer. It's the same thing. And Oliver Thomas needs to back away from that. We'll visit with him tomorrow. See what he thinks about that. Also, Ghassan Corban from the Sewerage and Water Board will join us on tomorrow's program. We'll find out the latest and greatest from the Sewage and Water Board and turbines and all that good stuff. Also, the Bureau of Governmental Research says there should be a restructuring and administrative restructuring of the Sewage and Water Board. I would think Hassan Corban would agree with that. We'll find out tomorrow. Next week, Joe Giarrusso joins us, New Orleans City Councilman. He's behind the big redevelopment of West End, that push. We'll find out what he thinks next week. Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell apologizes to the families, does it publicly. Her weekly Wednesday press conference apologizes to the families of the 2 slain girls, the 20-year-old girls killed outside of that club, the 1000 block of Claiborne Avenue. The mayor insinuated that there's a lot of females involved in the drug trade. And since it's 1:30 in the morning, these are probably females involved in the drug trade. They just happen to be a couple of females out having a good time in New Orleans. One, a recent graduate of Delgado's nursing school. The other, a college student at Southern. So I think the families got upset. I know they did. And we're upset at the mayor. And the mayor did the right thing. Said the wrong thing. Today said the right thing. Acknowledged saying the wrong thing. Acknowledged assuming. And apologized. I apologized a few times, said I'm sorry and apologized. Now, I wish the mayor would do that more often. When the mayor does something that's right, and even though this is a correction of something she did wrong, you got to give the mayor credit. And today I thought that was the right move. Louisiana, not the best state to be passing any LGBTQ laws at all. Seriously. Evangelical, wacky right, homophobic to begin with. Transgender's just like a brain implosion trying to think through that. But this law not allowing, or potential law that's going through the legislature, it passed a House committee, not allowing children 17 and under to have a surgery or hormone treatment or any of that. And this transgender thing isn't easy. You're not supposed to just understand it, accept it cleanly, and it's no problem. But you do have to acknowledge these people. They don't need to be marginalized. They need to be acknowledged. They're equals, Americans, citizens. The transgender isn't a new trend. We're just hearing about it because of times quickly changing, but probably like heterosexuality, homosexuality, transgender type behavior has been going on. That wiring of human beings since day one. But I don't think a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, we don't allow them to choose their hairstyle,